welcome. You're watching the Buck Stops here and I'm Barkha Dutt. On the program today, a step back from the daily dose of the Parliament's shenanigans and a look at a story that should concern us all. Senior politicians cutting across party lines are now petitioning the Prime Minister, saying that young, innocent Muslim boys who are often arrested and put away on false charges need to be compensated and rehabilitated. We'll be asking, what does the state owe those who are put away on false charges on the Buck Stops here tonight? Also coming up later on the program, our newsmaker tonight, Saina Nehwal, who always plays to win. She'll be joining us on her recently released memoirs. Let's start the Buck Stops here now with our special report tonight. Just recently, we've had the High Court announce the acquittal of two young men from Jammu and Kashmir who were actually on death row in connection with the Lajpat Nagar blast of 1996. The court, however, says that the evidence against them does not add up. We're taking tonight a wider look at many such cases of young men who have been arrested on false charges or who continue to languish in jails as under trials awaiting a final verdict on their guilt or innocence. When they are found to be innocent, what should be the state's compensation? Alok Pandey and Zafar Iqbal have the story.
In the 14 years that Delhi resident Muhammad Amir Khan spent in various jails in Delhi, Uttar Pradesh and Haryana, the world outside changed, mostly for the worse. Khan was picked up by the Delhi police on the night of February 20, 1998. Over the next few years, Khan was made an accused in 20 blasts in Delhi, Uttar Pradesh and Haryana between 1996 to 1998. He was charged with murder, terrorism and waging war against the nation. Khan finally walked out of jail on the 9th of January this year, acquitted in all but 2 cases, where his appeals against conviction are pending before the Delhi High Court.
ज़ख़म पे मरहम लगाया जा सकता है। मैं चाहता हूँ कि मेरी जो नई ज़िंदगी मिली है उसमें मुझको रिहैबिलिटेट करे गवर्नमेंट और कंपनसेशन दे और जो है एक इज़्ज़त भरी जो एक इज़्ज़त की ज़िंदगी जो कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन हमारे कहते हैं 21 में है तो वो जीने का अधिकार और एक सम्मानजनक तरीके से तो वो मैं चाहता हूँ।
Amir's is not an isolated case and not the most recent one too. In Srinagar, these two families live a few kilometers apart, but over the last 17 years, they have been united in their grief. In May 1996, 3 young boys from these families were among 11 picked up in connection with a blast in Delhi's crowded Lajpat Nagar market. One of the boys, Iftikhar, was acquitted by a Delhi trial court in 2010. The other 2 were released on the 22nd of November this year by the Delhi High Court. Both Mahmood Ali and Nisar Hussain had been awarded the death sentence by a lower court in Delhi in 2010. They will not walk out of jail yet as they are accused in another blast case from Rajasthan. Even after getting acquittal from court, the stigma stays with these young boys.
बरी होने के बाद भी इधर बरी नहीं हुए हैं क्योंकि पुलिस का कहना है कि भाई आपका जो भी मतलब पुलिस रिकॉर्ड में नाम आ गया चाहे भले ही आप बरी हो जाओ आपको एनओसी नहीं दे सकते किसी भी काम के लिए जो भी आप कोई काम करना चाहते हैं एनओसी नहीं मिलेगी आपको।
Such instances have reignited an old debate about fixing accountability for cases where victims feel the social stigma and the stamp of being a terror accused for years even after they are acquitted. There have been demands that erring cops should be penalized and victims properly compensated. On the ground, voices of protest are growing. I am here in Delhi's Jamia Nagar area where this gathering is protesting what they call is the arrest of innocent Muslim youth in the name of terrorism. A CPM delegation recently met President Pranab Mukherjee demanding a compensation policy for those wrongly arrested in terror cases. So is compensation the way forward, or is it a complete overhaul of policies and policing mindsets that's needed? Either way, those implicated falsely in terror cases will hope there can be some justice for them eventually. With Zafar Iqbal in Srinagar, in Delhi, Alok Pandey, NDTV.
So from Malegaon to the Makkah Masjid blast and now to the acquittals in the Delhi Lajpat Nagar blast case, this is now a matter of serious concern. What should be the compensation offered to those? Can there even be a compensation, in fact, who have been put away in jail for years on false charges? There is also the question of how long it takes to determine a young man's guilt or innocence. Today's senior members of parliament, many of them cutting across party lines, have met with the Prime Minister expressing concern about many young boys, many of them Muslim boys, being put away in jail on false charges or spending years with the shadow of suspicion hanging over them without anyone being able to determine whether they're guilty or innocent, and their lives, in effect, being paralyzed. Joining us on the panel this evening, we have with us Sandeep Dixit. He's, of course, a member of parliament from Delhi as well as a spokesperson for the Congress party. We're also joined tonight by Pinky Anand. She's a convener of the BJP's legal cell. Joining us from Mumbai tonight is M.N. Singh, former police commissioner of the city of Mumbai. With us in the studio, Najib Jung, Vice Chancellor with the Jamia Millia University. And also joining us to tell his story in his own words, one of those who has suffered the ignominy of what this can feel like, the trauma firsthand, Mohammad Amir Khan. He was acquitted after 14 years in jail. He was accused in 20 different cases. He's been acquitted in 18 of them and is still facing a pending trial in 2 of those cases, all of them related to terror. So we're asking what should be the compensation to victims of terror errors, and also raising the question that when it takes so long to actually solve a case, what happens to a young person's life while that trial is on? Sandeep, let me start with you. We've seen now a number of parties actually taking this to the Prime Minister, taking this to the President. We have seen some parallels in the Western world. For example, we had that famous case of Hanif, who was accused in the Glasgow International Airport terror-related case. The case was found to be wrong, and he was given $1 million in compensation and a formal apology from the police in Australia. We don't have those kind of institutionalized systems of redressal here. It's ad hoc. In Andhra Pradesh, for example, 70 lakh rupees were given to those who were put away falsely in the Makkah Masjid cases, but it's not a system that works across the country. What is the biggest concern at this point about all of these young men who sometimes spend years in jail and end up being innocent?
Barkaji, 3 points I'd like to make. First is, these are extraordinary times, and therefore a large number of rules, regulations, laws have been put in place because terrorism is the reality of our times, and therefore the kind of systems and ways in which earlier we dealt with law and order and crime is not something that is there today. So therefore, it is a situation in which different kind of tools and mechanisms are being used. Having said that, what is also happening is, and here I'm not defending those who are guilty, I'm not defending those in whom there is a question mark, and there would be, with the kind of situation we are tackling. But what we are seeing time and again is that boys or girls being picked up, they are being picked up for maybe, for reasons where there may be a genuine
case
count
of suspicion.
Suspicion.
Yeah.
But 10 years, 12 years, 14 years, 18 years, 7 years, 6 years. And when they are acquitted, even the lower courts, which normally don't acquit in such cases, also make statements like the fact that there are fabricated evidence against this person, investigating agencies have been shabby and shoddy. These kind of remarks have normally not come in other cases. So I think what's happening is that just because it's an extraordinary situation, the kind of manner in which law agencies and security agencies should deal with it sensitively, in depth and seriously is not happening.
You're saying there's a panic reaction to terror cases?
Not just panic reaction, it's both. I think they are overreacting on the one hand, and on the other hand, they are not doing a good job.
Are you alleging religious bias? Because
maybe. I'm not saying it openly, but maybe somewhere that also creeps in, and I'm not denying that. But what I'm saying is, the sad part is that they are not preparing themselves properly, in which case innocents are getting caught, and perhaps somewhere those who are actually guilty are also escaping.
Okay.
Because when you do a shoddy job, you actually do both. So you're doing disservice both to those who are innocent and to the nation as a whole, because you're probably not being able to catch those who are actually guilty.
So the question then becomes, is it a case of a genuine error in some cases, or is it a case of bias? And either way, the outcome for the person who's put away is actually the same. That trauma, that lived trauma to spend decades in prison and then come out and have everybody still look at you with the same sort of suspicion, even though you're acquitted, is very real. Pinky Anand, we have also seen a deeply politicized discourse between political parties. And that is unfortunately what has made this conversation a very dishonest one, a highly charged one, and a very polarizing one. But as a lawyer, and not just as a member of the BJP, do you believe that, for example, when we've seen these acquittals now in the Lajpat Nagar blast case, that the state owes at the very least a formal apology when it gets it wrong?
See, I don't think, Barkha, the system doesn't work like this. When you have a criminal investigation and you have a criminal trial, particularly in this case from what I have seen, it is not as if it has been found to be a faulty case or it is found to be an erroneous case. It is a case where evidence was not properly presented in support of the prosecution. If that be the case, and there was a case where you found search and seizure of revolvers, of cartridges, of chemicals, everything that had you. So in these kind of circumstances, if the police is acting the way it does, the job of the police is to investigate. The job of the police is to identify who might be the accused person and then ultimately put it up for trial. Now, be that as it may, that the trial has taken a tremendously long time. 14 years is something which is hapless. I don't agree with that at all. But I don't think this is the case where you can ever say that investigating agencies should be sued, investigating agencies should be fined, there should be an apology. Trials don't run like this on public and popular sentiments, Barkha.
But Pinky,
you are having a system where you're talking about security of the nation.
Forgive me for saying this, but it's actually not a popular sentiment. This is not the kind of issue that actually gets a mass support, because that is the truth. That is the truth of our country. That till people are actually affected themselves, they don't mobilize opinion on issues. But just reading out what the High Court actually said in the case of the two men who were acquitted, they were on death row, by the way, and they were acquitted by the High Court. And this is what the court said: it rebuked the Delhi police for its failure to adduce even the minimum standard of proof, saying that it had shown a casual approach in the case. Yes.
Barkha, that's exactly what I'm saying is, if at all there is any blame, it seems that the police has failed to bolster up the case properly against the accused. And please understand, in India, the system of hostile witnesses is blatant. It is something which happens in every regular trial. Leave aside terrorist trials. You are having not a case where it's a false case. Police has not adduced enough evidence. Public witnesses have not come forth. That is the allegation against the police. And that, I'm afraid, is something which is, our system is having a serious problem with that.
Okay.
We need to address that even more strongly.
So what you're actually saying is that an acquittal in itself doesn't mean a malafide on the part of the police. That's what you're arguing.
Do you have the NDTV Profit app? All the markets, all the news, and your own homemade, ready-made portfolio available there for you.
We will right now answer what you should sell, what you should buy when markets are down.
Download at ndtvprofit.com/apps. Get the best app from the channel you trust.